In every action we take, we are either helping to create a hell on earth or helping to bring down a foretaste of heaven. We're either contributing to the broken condition of the world or participating with God in transforming the world to reflect His righteousness. These words by Charles Colson remind us that each of us has an inescapable personal responsibility in how we live our lives. Today, my generation is the largest in U.S. history, and many have speculated as to the role we will play. What will we be remembered for? The generation that advanced technology, embraced entitlement, or revolutionized culture? Many never knew their role until history remembered them. Remembered them as a generation that pioneered, explored, fought wars, faced economic turmoil, pursued sex and drugs, or propelled innovation. But there have been those who have taken bold and courageous steps to transform society to reflect God's righteousness. Generations of the Christian church who have gone before us, ones to be remembered. During World War II, there was a group called the Pastors' Emergency League who rose up against Hitler's control of the evangelical church, where Hitler was pushing beliefs of racial superiority from the pulpit. Instead of complying, they organized unofficial churches in Germany called the Confessing Church. They became known for their stand against evil, against the slaughtering of the Jews, and they became remembered for their stand for biblical truths. In the 1830s in America, escape routes and safe hiding locations for runaways were developed to bring slaves into freedom. We know it today as the Underground Railroad, but many forget that it was formed largely by churches. Churches served as stations known while yet invisible, remembered for engaging on the most important matter of their day. During the same time period in England, a group called the Claflin sect changed the course of history. Christian advocates of social reform, they weren't just ministers, they were made up of businessmen, attorneys, activists, and politicians. This is the group that William Wilberforce belonged to and that worked with him to pass emancipation in 1833. The Claflin sect was known for their aversion to slavery, now remembered for freeing their world. Today, there is a church that is known and will be remembered. It's the church in Iraq. They are known for their faith and courage, their willingness to die for Christ and watch their children be beheaded for believing in the Nazarene. And hundreds of years from now, they will be remembered as a generation of the Christian church that stood to the death. I have to ask, what is the 21st century American church known for today, and how will we be remembered? We have an opportunity, if we seize it, to be known as a church who doesn't just learn biblical principles on Sunday, but actually applies them to the tough cultural issues of our day. We can be known as a church that stands for life from the earliest of stages to the last year. We can be known as a church that speaks out with God's wisdom on the issues of debt, economics, poverty, gender identity, marriage, and immigration. We can be a generation of the Christian church that through the truth of God's word provides solutions to the world's problems and speaks out against evil. The question is this: will we be that generation, and not just a generation that goes to church? We have a God-given opportunity. Not everyone has it. Our calling is unique to us. We have an opportunity to be remembered for our impact in the election this year, an election that will again determine the leader of the strongest nation in the world. Christians around the world will watch and pray that we, the American church, rise up and vote for leaders who will defend a biblical worldview. No other single group in America can have a greater impact on the future of our nation and on our world than that of the Christian church. Do you know the issues and the biblical truths that provide the answers? Do you know the candidates and which ones live and advocate a biblical worldview? To whom much is given, much is required. Let us be found faithful with what God has entrusted to us. Let us leave our mark on history as a church that was known in our culture for taking a stand. I am one person. You are one person, and this is just one church. But the light from a single lit match can be seen 3 football fields away. Together, let's set the world on fire with God's truth and light. History is ours to write. Will you be a part of the Christian generation that stands for a biblical worldview at this time in history? Now is our time. This is our calling. Together, as a church, let's be known. If you're a pastor or a leader who wants to bring this message to your church, then we want to help you. We have a team of millennials who believe in being a part of a generation that is heard, and we've band together to help the churches that want to be known. Let us know you're in by emailing us at info@imtomorrow.com.